Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTbase.com. Welcome to our weekly COT review. Today we're going to be looking at the 25th Commitments of Traders Report of 2019. Now we will jump over the true US dollar index. That's something interesting for our members. But we will talk about the soybeans, where we had that 40% change in commercials positions, 33 in large speculators. Of course, this is a COT change signal pointing downwards. It is a bearish signal, suggesting there could be some decline happening in the soybeans market early this week. If we move on to the 5 years chart, we get a wider perspective of the commitments of traders report, and you can see that in May of 2019, so basically a few weeks ago, we had a very significant bullish COT Extreme that, by the way, was a successful signal pushing the market much higher. Now we haven't reached those really large all-time or close to all-time bearish extreme levels, but we're on the way towards those levels. You can see that quite clearly, and this large change has of course pushed traders in that direction very dynamically. The next market is the Canadian dollar with a 31% change. Now this of course is a smaller change size compared to soybeans, but we're talking about currencies here, and such changes in currency futures can be considered very, very large. 44% change in the small speculators. Again, we are talking about a bearish COT change signal suggesting the market could drop this week. But if we open the 5 years chart, we can see what the COT extreme situation tells us. Now you can see that we are more or less in between the two extremes. We have this bullish COT extreme from May of 2017, and we have a very significant bearish extreme from September of the same year. And of course, we're more or less in between those two levels. We are at a 31 report extreme in case of commercials. So this, of course, all of this is suggesting we could see some declining coming in the Canadian dollar. Euro is our next market. Again, very large changes over there. 26% change in commercials and 24 in large speculators. And of course, we're not surprised to see that the signal is pointing in the same direction since these futures markets are measured in US dollars. Jumping to the 5 years chart, you can see that in case of the euro, we had a relative bullish extreme, nothing too big, because you can see back from 2015 we had even greater bullish COT extremes. We're definitely not at those levels, and actually with this move from traders in this recent report, you can see that we're definitely have moved away from those levels. Of course, we're not at bearish extremes either, so it's mainly the COT chain signal that we can act upon from this recent report. Moving on to large speculator COT extreme, we have cotton on top of a list with a 166 report extreme. In large speculators, the exact same report extreme in commercials. And of course, it's quite obvious if you look at the chart that we are talking about a bullish COT extreme situation, which of course can even grow to higher levels, but not necessarily. You can see that the market has already started moving a bit higher, so who knows, maybe this was the signal that will put an end to this downtrend that we've been witnessing in cotton markets since basically 1 year ago, June of 2018. The next market, again, another soft market, in this case the coffee market, where we have an 89 report extreme in large speculators and commercials. Of course, it's quite visible that the bullish extreme we had in cotton is not the case in coffee. We have more of a bearish extreme over here. Of course, not the largest, much greater extremes have been in the market in the past. You can see some good examples for that. So this can easily grow to even greater levels, which of course is surprising to see once you look at the price chart of coffee, which is in decline mode. So it's a bearish COT extreme, which suggests there could be some further declining happening in coffee market. And last but not least, let's open natural gas, where we have a 75 report extreme in large speculators, 45 report extreme in commercials. Of course, if you remember, we've been talking about the heating oil in the last few reviews, COT reviews, and the bullish extreme was present over there. Now you can see natural gas in this review talking about a bullish extreme getting stronger and stronger week by week. Of course, if you look at this 5 years chart, we can see much greater extremes. For instance, commercials have been at roughly 240,000 contracts net long, and of course, in this recent report, they're only at 99,612 contracts net long. So there's still some space left for them to reach those levels, which means that although we are talking about a bullish extreme, relative one, don't forget that this could increase to even greater levels. Now, that is all for this COT review, but of course, don't forget you can have a more in-depth and detailed COT analysis, look at all the markets, even our market complexes as well. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope to see you in the next COT review coming this weekend. Take care. Goodbye.